Policeman collected $25,000 after labeling me IPOB member, hair vendor and crypto enthusiast from Enugu State. Obinna Henry tells Ajibade Omape how policemen allegedly extorted $25,000 from him after labeling him a member of the indigenous people of Biafra. You mentioned that the sum of $25,000 was extorted from you by policemen. Can you describe the events that led to the encounter with the security operatives? My name is Obinna Henry. I'm from AWGU in Enugu State, and my parents live at Oji River. My father works at a microfinance bank in Orca, while my mother is a health center nurse. I am staying in Asaba with my siblings. I deal in bitcoins. I'm also a hair vendor. This incident occurred while I was driving from Asaba to Oji River. After Onitsha, there is a bad road, which makes commuting difficult because many trucks and vehicles have to slow down to pass that place comfortably. While I approached the bad portion of the road, I was sure I saw a white Toyota Hiace bus with tinted glasses. The number plate was written in green, showing that the vehicle was government-owned. When I passed that vehicle, I saw the driver, but my mind didn't suspect anything. And there were other transport buses loading passengers to different destinations. After driving for a while, I just pulled over at a junction to ease myself. The ignition of my car was still on, and my 2 phones were still in the car because I made a quick stop and was going to continue my journey because I already told my mother that I was on my way. While I was urinating, I saw that the white Toyota Hiace bus had double-crossed my car and parked in front of me, and 6 armed men with extra magazines attached to their guns approached me. I was surprised. These men asked for my vehicle papers, which I provided. They then asked for my driving license and tint permit, which I presented to them without any argument. After they searched everything, nothing was found on me. I was told to enter their bus. I questioned my arrest after providing them with all they asked for. They said they were police officers and that they had every right to investigate anybody. What prompted you to stop at that specific location where these officers approached you? Usually when I travel, I do not stop on the road to do anything. But as it happened that very day, I stopped at that place because I was pressed and wanted to urinate. This is the first time I stopped to do so while traveling. How did the policemen approach you? Their appearance was frightening and I did not feel safe. Before I entered the vehicle, I wanted to take my phone from my car, but one of them asked me to leave it. They dragged me into their vehicle, which had tinted glass, so someone from the outside couldn't see what was going on in the bus. What happened after? The driver turned on the ignition, while one of them drove my car following behind. I noticed that the driver did not stop at any of the police checkpoints on our way, as he simply drove past them, which I believe was easy for them because of the number plate the vehicle had. While on the bus, they were asking me about my details, but I kept mute and did not say a word. I just kept calm. After fruitless efforts in trying to make me talk, one of them brought out his ID card, showing me that they were police officers and not kidnappers. However, while he was showing me the ID card, he covered his name. I checked carefully, but I could not get it. After showing me the ID card, I relaxed and started to answer their questions. After a while, I was asked to open my phone, which I refused to do. They immediately handcuffed me. There were 2 officers at the back, and those people were punching me. They gave me blows on my forehead until I started bleeding. They were driving while all this was happening. The one who handcuffed me approached me and tightened the handcuffs so much that the handcuffs gave me wounds in my hand. While they were beating me, one of them warned that if I didn't open my phone, I would be tagged as an IPOB member and that I had something to hide. I denied their allegations. I remember I had some mint N200 notes totaling about N5000 in my car, which I usually gave out to police officers on the road. The officer who drove my car took it all. They threatened to shoot me and boasted that nothing would happen and nobody would know my whereabouts if I didn't unlock my phone. When the matter degenerated and their action was becoming a threat to my life, I unlocked my first phone. They were going through my phone and found nothing incriminating. Another officer asked me to unlock my iPhone and I refused. They immediately got angry and started beating me again until I unlocked the phone. Immediately I unlocked that phone. The officer holding it navigated to my wallet account, opened it, and saw money. He started showing his other colleagues the money in my wallet, claiming that was why I refused to unlock my phone. They told me they would collect the money. These officers beat me until the driver took us to one lonely place surrounded by bushes. When we got to that lonely place, they stopped their car and mine, and they started beating me again, insisting that I must transfer that money to their account. The officers with me on the bus told me that if their colleague who drove my car knew I was delaying transferring this money to them, he would be upset and might even shoot me, and that they would throw me in the bush there, and nothing would happen. Fortunately for me, when the officer came out, he started bullying them for injuring me on my forehead because he saw blood on my head. He asked me who injured me, and I pointed the officer out. He noted that he had told them to stop inflicting injuries on people in the process of trying to collect money. What was on your mind when the policeman began to interrogate his colleagues? This was an indicator that such incidents had occurred in the past. While we were there, they were discussing how to get another person to bring his phone and make sure that I did the transfer to them. That money was meant for my business. Can you tell us the date and time of the incident? The incident occurred on November 20th, 2024, around 12 p.m. If I saw them right now, I would be able to identify them. However, they did not have name tags on their dresses, and they were all putting on very deceptive nose masks, but I can recall they were 7 in number. When will you report the issue to a police station or state command, and not a police pro? I can do that if I'm requested to, but I will wait till after the new year because most of them may not be around for now. How do you intend to help the police recover your money when you cannot get the name of any of the errant policemen? Since I was not able to get a name, I still have the wallet address that was used to receive the money from my wallet. However, I believe that the wallet address can be used to trace the account and transactions. I hope this will help the police if they need it. What reasons did they give for demanding the money? There was no reason whatsoever from them. At first, they accused me of being a member of IPOB, which I denied. They asked me to unlock my phone so they could check, saying if nothing was found, I would be set free. They searched my phone first and found nothing incriminating. After I unlocked my second phone, they went straight to my wallet and demanded I make a transfer to them. Were there any witnesses present during the incident, or were you alone at the time? The officer drove my car into a street, so it would be difficult for me to drive out before they escaped. That place was lonely, and after collecting the money from me, they drove away. I rushed to an army checkpoint that we passed on the way and complained to them. But the soldiers there said they saw the bus drive past them but had no idea that such a thing was happening inside it. There were no witnesses at all. It was just me and the 6 of them in the vehicle, with the driver making the 7th person. The army officer at the checkpoint said those people, policemen, had been involved in such an act for a long time and that they could have come from the state CID. Did you attempt to contact any authorities, family or friends during or after the incident? I wanted to, but they didn't let me. They were with my phones. I was in handcuffs and the one at my back kept punching me from the back, while the one by my side was hitting me as well. They were very hefty men. While these things were happening, my mother called me on my phone, but the officers kept rejecting the calls and denying me access to phone calls. I came back 2 days after the incident, and while I was going through my phone, I came across a guy named Harrison in Delta State on the internet and explained everything to him. He asked if I would be able to identify the officers if I saw them again. I confirmed, and he promised to get back to me. After a while, I reached out to him, and he said he had informed some people in Abuja who were investigating the case, but they needed N2.8 million to track the wallet address used to collect the money from me and the number plate of the vehicle used by them. But as it stands now, I do not have that amount of money. I also reported to someone who referred me to the Enugu State Police Public Relations Officer, who after our discussion referred me to the Anambra State Police Pro since the incident happened there. Upon his referral, I contacted the Anambra Pro, and when I explained everything, he asked me for evidence of the payment receipts, which I told him I had. I was asked to forward everything to him on WhatsApp, which I did, but since then, I have not heard from him, and even when I called, I got no response. I felt it was a disturbance calling him, so I gave up. It was not until I got a call from my friend who shared my contact with you to do an interview. Are you satisfied with the way they've handled the case? I'm not satisfied because I was asked to send the proof of payment, which I did, and after sending the proof, I called him to tell him that I had already sent the proof to his WhatsApp. He said okay, that he would check it and now get back to me to know what next. I waited for about 2 or 3 days before calling again, but when I did, I got no response from the Anambra State Police Pro. You mentioned that you wanted to use the $25,000 for business. What kind of business did you want to use it for? The business I wanted to use it for was the hair business. It was human hair, Brazilian hair and the like. I had made contacts and saw a shop I wanted to use for the business. When I wanted to pay for the shop, I was told that the person in charge was not around. I checked that place about 2 or 3 times, but I never met the person. Had it been that the shop was available then, I could have used that money to pay the rent and do other things. If these officers are apprehended, what do you want the authorities to do to them? If these people should be apprehended, the first thing is to suspend them from the police force because they are taking it too far. Not only that, but they must also face the law for threatening me and beating up a citizen because they had guns with them. After you were released, did you get any medical attention for your injuries? My mum gave me medications. I didn't go to a hospital because my mum is a nurse and she knew what medications to give me. What assistance or help do you want concerning this case? I called 2 of my friends and forwarded the address used to collect the money to them. That was after I explained what happened to them. My friends tracked the wallet and they saw the money in their trust wallet. The following morning, one of them called me saying that they had started moving out that money from that wallet. They moved everything. I don't know if it will be possible to get my money back, but I would love the authorities to help me. I would appreciate it. The extortion of innocent citizens by some policemen is not good. It's not good to see somebody and start to intimidate them because you are carrying a gun, threatening to kill them, and nothing happens. The authorities should look into it. My life was threatened, and that is my fear. I've been seeing on TikTok where police will just shoot somebody who did not commit any offense. Stay tuned, stay safe, and have a lovely weekend.
We stopped being human because we became Nigerians. They divided us and we fell for it. Because you wouldn't see me as a Yoruba man, you spoke for me. Because you wouldn't see me as a Christian, you spoke for me. Because you spoke, because you spoke, because you spoke. Because you spoke, Nigeria couldn't happen to me. Because you spoke. The only reason Nigeria couldn't happen to me is because you spoke. You spoke. That is why Nigeria couldn't happen to me. And yeah, Nigeria couldn't happen to me. Emu, Eki, Biterun Reko. You found your voices. I became you. And in our collective, you couldn't be silenced. And I